Hey everyone, yeah, sorry, we just had a little bit of a YouTube meltdown now. My Surface Book just froze and went, and I was like, oh no. I think I was in the discussion and we're talking about like how Axie Affinity, you've got world champs, and massive exposure, and a lot of people around the world are watching it. And I think it'd be really, really cool to see, Devikins getting to that stage, especially with PvP around the corner, and just be really cool to see where things will eventuate, And yeah, if you're just kind of dropping by and you're tuning in, thanks for watching. Sorry about that little cutout before. My computer had a meltdown completely. It was like, ah. So yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens. But yeah, if you got any questions, please fire them in. I'll be on here for a little bit. So happy to answer anything and everything related to Devikins or any questions that you guys may have or anything that I can help with. Just please fire away. Kind of, but yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the game. I'm just looking forward to the next platforms and so forth. I think one of my goals is to kind of focus on procreating eldritches at a specific genotype. So like, I love to get a co-dominant. I love to have obviously a full recessive would be mind-blowing. The ability to be able to procreate something like that would just be next level awesomeness, and that's really the goals that I kind of have worked with. A lot of people have been working on full recessive 100 cat PvP teams and looking for the strongest, especially with gene sync and desync. It's going to be very interesting how they will roll out. I'm very interested to know also how it's going to work and where things are going to go, and the ability to level up your weapons, the ability to level up your Devikins and burning NFTs to progress your Devikins. It's going to be very, very cool to see which way things sway, and altogether there's so much awesomeness coming around the corner, and I'm just really, really excited to see where things are going to progress. And, like all of you, that are sitting on NFTs and just wondering, when can we battle them and when can we actually have some awesome fun? It's like reminds me a bit like Diablo, where you're kind of like building up. And that used to be like an all-time favorite game for me. Playing Diablo back in the day was my go-to, like on my old like 64 megabyte PC. Um, 64 megabyte graphics card back in the day, which was the bee's knees, and that was awesome, Hey Thompson, how you doing? Is there anything I can help with, buddy? As far as any questions you may have, or anything that I can help you with or assist with? Thanks for joining. But yeah, I mean, Diablo for me was awesome. When you kind of progress and then you ranked up or finding weapons and adding altering weapons, the durability aspect of it, and I see a lot of the kind of like Diablo things kind of coming in with Devikins, which I just absolutely love. That's super cool for me. And when you're able to start minting weapons, it's just going to be epic. Like you think about the different levels of weapons or amulets or items that you have, and the clothing add-ons, and just all these NFTs are going to be customizable, and it just brings us really, really cool aspect to the game. It's not just this is your NFT here, and then you can have like all your items, which then you can also trade inside the marketplace, which is just going to be next level awesome. So there's some really, really cool things to look forward to. And I'm really excited. I mean, I've been chatting with Gayu and Master Wolf and a few other people just about their thoughts and where things are going to be going, and I look forward to be able to do a collab with both of them. Look up to those guys; they're awesome. If you're not following Gayu, give him a follow, and also with Master Wolf, give her a follow. She's awesome, amazing, really cool videos. And true story, I actually looked up to Gayu on the road to Eldritch because I was just sitting back and like seeing all these Eldritches getting procreated. I was just sitting there like, I'd never ever thought in my life I'd be a person that would actually have an Eldritch. I just thought like it was like a dream come true, and I thought it was so impossible. And then looking at some of the procreations that are kind of fired with, using a rare 310 rare with a 410 mythic and a limitless incubator, and being able to get an Eldritch back to back with a genetic incubator with 2 times 410s mythic. That was epic. That moment, honestly, was probably the coolest feeling that I've ever had. Like knowing that I've accomplished getting an Eldritch, but B, getting a back-to-back Eldritch reveal was just it was like it was like next level awesome. And that was just really off. That was off one breeding line. So 2, 3, 10 mythics created that whole breeding line that got all my Eldritches. And then once you get let's say you get they had 9 procreations left, and you have 8 procreations left, and you had 7 spat out of 410, 6 spat out of 410, 5 spat out, I think it was a 310, and then it drips down. So I kind of like keep my procreations above a certain level. I just saw your question, buddy. What's the percentage of getting an Eldritch through procreation? That's a very good question. I mean, you're looking at the chance of attaining an Eldritch through minting. It's very, very, very slim. 0.0002% or something like that. So through procreating, it's having the right NFTs, the right incubators, and having the chances left. So if you're going to be going with, for instance, 2, 3, 10 mythics, and you're sitting at 10 procreations left, then you've got the opportunity to go from 10 to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 before procreation costs become too high. So that's how I kind of stage it. I'd start going from I look at how many procreations that you have left, and then as you're kind of coming down the level, once you get to around the 6 and 5 and 4, it's quite expensive and it's quite risky. So I just want to make sure that I at least have my triple 10s around the 10, 9, or 8, and then hopefully get the 410s around 7 or 6. So when I kind of went through the process of doing this, what you got to realize is that every time you procreate, let's say I procreated a 410 mythic, and I procreated that on, let's say, 7 procreations. So my both parents, 310 mythics, had 7 procreations left, and I had a 410. So what you got to realize is that it takes a week to train that up to fully have it maxed out. Okay, so that's underway training pretty much to get that maxed out. And in that same process, I'm then looking at procreating from the 7 to the 6 to the 5 down to pretty much 4, round about 5-ish that I'm taking it down to. Because if you go any lower than that, you're just going to start chewing up DVK. And how I kind of looked at it is I would look at, if you're using top tier like mythics, or using even top tier rares or uncommons like 310s, mainly for the mythic side of it that I've been focusing on, I've always gone with genetic. So when you're going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, always using genetics, so you hold the suit. Even if it drops a little lower, you're still guaranteed a mythic for me. And the cost of the genetic incubators has gone down a fair bit since the procreation event has dropped. You can look at you can look at attaining it that way. We can try your luck at the wishing well and so forth, and that's a way of doing it. But if you're starting small, I would look at getting NFTs, whether it's commons or uncommons or rares, that at least have 110, or trying to get sets or pairs with 10s. So you might have to get X amount of NFTs lined up that all have 9 procreations left that have 110 or 2 10s. And then you can have a go with them to kind of see if you can get your 3 10s. And then once you've got your 3 10s, then you can start pairing the 3 10s together so that you can get your 4 10s. And then once you get your 4 10s, I look at it like 4 10s as you're getting closer to Eldritch once you have 4 10s. Or if you have 2 pairs of 3 10s, I would love to see, a 210 and a 310 procreated Eldritch, whether it's something like a common and maybe a limitless, or uncommon and a limitless, using a rare and a mythic to see if that actually rolls on. You know, that's something that I've been thinking about as well. If that was doable, that would just be epic. You know, like that is something really cool. Hey, Sean, sorry if I spelled your name wrong. You know, it's nice to meet you all the way from New Zealand over here, Auckland, New Zealand. Lennox Bless, what's the vision surrounding the concept of PvP? So I think the idea around these NFTs is putting them to use and being able to build teams so that you can kind of combat each other and work together as a guild so that you can kind of accomplish tasks at the same time, improve your characters, completing missions. You're going to be finding what Devikins you want to spend all your effort into leveling up, what NFTs you're going to burn to level up that Devikin, which is going to increase its value itself. Shout out to OG, my man. Yeah, it's for me, it's really cool because, you know, watching Axie Infinity and seeing what they've done, you know, has been a really, really cool thing, you know, and seeing the world champs, like I relayed, I had a little bit of a glitch if you guys are just tuning in, and that was incredible. Like just seeing them playing world champs, it's a bit like Clash of Clans and stuff like that, you know. It's like, you know, or Clash Royale. These guys are big, and it's big prize money, and it's epic. And I know that with Devikins, you have a lot of market over in the Philippines, which is shout out to all the Filipinos out there. You're awesome. I've met a lot of you through this whole DVK community, or Devikins community, as well as a lot of other cool people from all around the world. It brings everyone together, you know. What do we have here? How many teams do you have? Do you have teams for each rarity? I mean, honestly, like what I'm looking at the moment, I've got something like 90-ish NFTs on my roster that I'm kind of holding on to at the moment, you know, and I've got, I think, over 400 and something sitting in my Clever wallet. So I've actually discarded a fair few on the process. But yeah, the teams there, I've got a fair few. I mean, I've got a Clever Mythic that I really want to be able to throw in with some uncommons and commons, mutated uncommon and common sort of scenario. But the as far as the team building aspect of it, like my big goal is to kind of be able to play around with the variety and see what we can do. You know, I'm looking at leveling up. I'm hoping we can get 10, 20, 30, 40 top Devikins, you know, that we can kind of play around with. You know, in some cases, you're always looking at like Eldritch, you know, and then people are saying, man, that can be wiped out by a common or uncommon and so forth, or a rare, you know, with the right genes or gene desync, you know. It's yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sacrificing and a lot of leveling and a lot of time as well put into this. And you know, we got all the time in the world. I mean, you look at it like the game's just developing, and you know, I think it's going to be really, really cool to see, you know, all the different strategic moves that people utilize to try and get the best team, to try and have the strongest team in the 100 affinity attribute capped, you know. And, you know, I'm just really excited to start seeing some of this streaming, you know, and when we actually get into the processes of battling one another, or when you've got guild offs, so like you've got, you know, your top teams and your guilds fighting each other and sort of thing, you're going for that trophy, like the Deviking or whatever, you know, like it's yeah, it's pretty cool. I think Mutated is definitely awesome to have in there. You know, it's I've played around with having a Mutated in my PvP team. You know, I'm just trying to get, like, I've seen someone out there's got a 10 affinity attribute Mutated. That's just wicked. You know, like you're looking at the lower numbers, or even like I know that shout out to Clever Douglas. He's sitting on like a 5 affinity attribute NFT. It's like the lowest out there. It's rarer than Eldritch, considering that you got, I think, over 35 Eldritches in circulation, and you've only got one NFT that's affinity attribute 5. That is pretty awesome, you know. So as far as like leveling things up and kind of progressing and building your teams up, you know, there's a lot that you can mix and match, you know, around with. Just also depends on the components that you have. Like there will be, like, if you look at it like set items or set attributes and what you're going to get and what you're going to be able to utilize with each NFT and so forth, you know. So, you know, whether it's, and whether you're dual welding, your critical hit chance and your critical hit damage are the two things that I love in Diablo. I refer a lot to it, but they're like, I had super high critical hit chance, super high critical hit damage. So you can just imagine if that connects, you could just wipe out a character like that. But it also depends on the buffs and everything else that come into play as well, and what the pets do and so forth, So I'm going to have a play around with when the actual leveling up side of things go, the NFT burning aspect comes into play. And then I can, be able to educate you all once I have a good play around with it. At the moment, it's kind of like a lot of absorbing and kind of, refining and thinking, well, what's going to be best in this situation, I mean, you look at gene desync for every non-recessive or, gene that you have, the boosts and advantages itself, like, as opposed to, you got full recessive and then you got full recessive boosts as well. It's like, it's, but you never know. I'm pretty sure it's like I play on the cusp on the side, just to kill time. I play Clash Royale, and that's pretty like balanced when it comes to playing your opponent. So put it this way, like if my critical hit damage was high, critical hit chance was high, then I'm more likely to be facing a tankish opponent, if that makes sense. It could be the case. It might not be the case, but I hope that's how it kind of works or rolls. So, if you're fighting a tank and you're smashing away with critical hit damage and critical hit chance, and then, you could have a reverse spell or buff that kind of counteracts it onto your own character. You never know, but these are all the real cool things that we're just going to be finding out, and yeah, just super, super excited. I appreciate all the comments and everyone that's kind of jumped on who's watching as well. Just type in there where you are in the world, if you don't mind, sharing where you are. And if there's any other questions that I can help with, if I don't have the answers 100%, I'll be honest, I need to go back to the drawing board and have a look. I've read the white paper a few times. I get a bit rusty on things time to time, but it's the best thing. Just keep rereading it, going through it. And then, there's the marketplace, you can pick up some awesome deals in game. Just for instance, I picked up a uncommon 310. I picked up uncommon 310. I just couldn't believe it, and we were just me and my mate were just buzzing. We got it for like 8,000 DVK, and and then just looking at that itself, that was a steal. So, you just have to have a look and keep your eye on there. Me and a few other people call it sniping. So sniping is when, you get in there or you just refresh and you can have a look and you just see what pops up. With the new filtering that comes out with the next update, you will have, it will say if it has mutated genes, and you can actually click on the Devikin to see what genes it does have. So it avoids, you not buying something that isn't. What are we looking at here? Sorry, I'm just going into the questions. Combat focus on power and sanity. I'm finding tank and healer, but found none. Keep looking, bro. Like, you'll find something out there. It's just about searching, and there will be something that pops up. The market is pretty up and down at the moment, like a yo-yo, so you don't exactly know which way, things are going to go. I know Devikins' team, like the way I see it, it's just going to keep building, and then it's going to accelerate. But the rest of the crypto space out there is going through like a Richter scale, like an earthquake machine. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, and I'm pretty sure that once we get to that PvP, close to that PvP launch date, I'm extremely bullish on DVK. Not financial advice, just throwing it out there to cover my backside. But yeah, it's been a journey, and I think one of the coolest things for being an early adopter and getting into this is seeing Devikins, the price of DVK, pretty much on the tail of Clever at one point, and nearly I thought it was going to catch Clever, and that was insane. So remember to lock up your DVK, and pretty much you're going to be able to put it into chest or vaults, and that's going to be able to give you weapon scraps, which is going to be a very useful tool to be able to get into the crafting side of things. And yeah, was Buckaroo, it doesn't matter. As I enjoyed the game, looking forward to combat and to see. Man, we're all looking forward to combat, bro. Like it is going to be loose. There's plenty of time to kind of to plan for these things and to kind of just map out, your goals. What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? What NFTs are you going to be leveling up? What NFTs are you going to be looking at burning? On the marketplaces, you can pick up some really good steals as well. Yeah, Thompson, yeah, I'm not ready for PvP yet. Still putting your teams together. Good on you, man. Like, you'll get there, brother. It's a cool process. Like, I have to say, like, my teams are like call it jumbled around at the moment. I'll start posting up some 100 Affinity Attribute cap teams just to showcase to you guys what I've kind of looking at building and so forth. But yeah, like my big thing is like there's one other person out there and he knows who he is, who has 4 Eldritch, and it's just like Clash of the Titans, man. Like that's what I'm like so excited about is pairing up my Eldritches versus the man Geo himself's Eldritches, and then seeing what happens. Like that'll just be something so awesome. Battle of the elites, but also it's going to be really cool to see what's out there. As far as what NFTs are going to be doing the most damage, what ones are going to be the most sought after. At the moment, I see recessive. Everyone's running for them. So prices still going up. If you're still at work, it's 10:40 p.m. here in New Zealand. I'm looking a bit tired. I start work. I'm a truck driver here in New Zealand, so it's I start work at I'm at the door at about 5:30ish, and then I kind of start about 6:15, and then whatever time I'm done, sort of thing. So I get a bit of free time throughout the day to play Devikins and look after my Diva babies and so forth, and that just kind of keeps me going. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Been really slow on the videos lately. I've been a little bit out of DVK, so for a lot of you out there, after Procreation events, it kind of feels like it hits your pocket pretty hard. But that's what happened with me. I was able to scrape through, sell a Mythic, get my 4th Eldritch, and I still have all my Eldritches. I was contemplating selling a couple of Eldritches and doing it all over again, but I'm just going to keep them and hold on to them, It's so hard to come by, and also I think we're so early in this game, in the stages of the game. I would like to see some use with the Eldritches, like if you got them in Void Adventures and so forth, that'd be really cool. Or even like the staking mechanism, if you were to stake like an Eldritch, it'd be so it makes it like more demandable on like marketplace as such. But yeah. Same here, still putting up a team. Look, it's all good. If you guys have teams and stuff and you want to pass it by me, feel free. Drop me a line on Twitter. I'm pretty active on that. So Clev_NZ. Just message me like your team, or if you got any questions, or if you want help with anything, like just to kind of configure. And my go-to man, that's like the smarts with all this, with all the other aspects, like with the genes, and who actually helped me immensely with the road to Eldritch is David Ramos, Dr. Sweet Tooth. He is the man. And he's very switched on when it comes to understanding what goes with what and so forth. And when we were kind of procreating on the way, it was kind of hit or miss. So should we try this or should we try that? And we got lucky a lot of the times. Then towards the end, we were kind of more or less planning and we kind of knew what we we're doing. Yeah, I mean, the staking NFTs, we also do see that, guys. I just saw a few comments pop up there. We have seen staking in other platforms. It is good to a degree. I just like to see that if you're going to be staking NFTs, you're going to be getting like, it's like a reward aspect, or you're going to be paid out in either mint seed that can be converted to DVK or something like that. But, it's still early days. We never know what's around the corner with the team. And, super excited to see where things go, guys. And, Anyone else got any questions they want to fire at me before I wrap things up? When next space? I enjoyed the last one with you guys, and thank you who definitely put it in consideration. Yeah, I mean the dev team's pretty busy with this next update. It'll be really, really cool to see how that rolls out, and hopefully we get snippets sooner than later. I mean, we've seen some player versus environment type of scenes there, and then you kind of like even the bosses that you're going to be fighting. I mean, you look at Void Adventures and you think about like, you got boss fights in there, and then you put your NFTs in place, and then your pink tickets, you're forking those out for it as well. And then you're having the boss fights, and then you got a percentage of winning, a percentage of losing. Sometimes it fails and you kind of hit your hand on your head saying, why does this happen? But it's be really cool so you can actually see it happening, and what are the bosses going to look like, and it's really cool, just the building blocks. And no offense to all the Axie lovers out there, but I mean Devikins just looks so much cooler. They're like a little, yeah, I won't go too much further into detail on what I think of them, but I just think like as far as the designing of the NFT usage as well, and they look cool. I mean, you can pull it up, you can click on it, and it brings up the arm and waves when it's on the marketplace. It's like, wow, it's something completely different. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Comet Bitters coming. They said October. Yeah, I mean, you could have like early beta testing, and I have to talk with the team to see if we're allowed to release any of the goods, or the testing aspects of it. And if that's the case, then we'll just go for gold and showcase it. And I'm keen to kind of work out and configure it and understand it, like, see what needs to be done to as far as the weapon aspects of it. As likes to using a two-handed weapon to two dual wielding weapons, what's the most effective, and the tanking options, the boost options with each different type of NFT, and what boosts it has, and what advantages, disadvantages, and I think it'd be good to map out, a plan of attack to kind of showcase, I'll look at doing that for you guys. I think it would be good to kind of point you in the right direction of what type of teams you can start, like low end, mid range to high end sort of thing that you can look at. But also we'll look after people. We don't want people to think, man, you got to spend a lot of money to get into this game. It's not about that. You start small and kind of build up from there. I just happened to make a few of my big breaks in the procreation side of things. That was just through trial and error. But I just started investing, and I was, doing 100,000 on DVK before they launched Marketplace, trying to get mythic incubators so I could start procreating mythics. And then I wish I had waited a few more weeks after that, because that would have saved me a lot of coin. But I think knowing that, you kind of, you get all the rare amulets. You also get all the positives, all the training items as well, the Eldritch training items, which are just really cool to have, and I hope that you'll experience that, someday or one day soon, or even get that the dream NFT that you guys have been desiring and that you want, But yeah, I'm going to close it there, guys. Much love. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, feel free to message me on Twitter. To all the winners that won the NFTs that I mentioned in the earlier video before I got cut off, please get in touch. And God bless you all. Be nice to one another. To all the love monster people out there, thinking about all you guys. I know you're going through a bit of ups and downs, and it's a rocky road, but it's I just hope that things work out for your favor, and ups to all of you guys out there as well. Shout out to my brother Gayu. Cheers for just joining in, bro. But I really, really look forward to kind of building this Devikins community with everyone, and Gayu's like, just shout out to him. He's the man that pretty much got me moving, in Devikins, because I had all these NFTs and I saw this guy absolutely killing it with the Eldritch Procreations, and I was just thinking, how is this possible? How is this guy doing this? And it just, absolutely mind blown, you know, and I love everything you do, my man. You keep it up. You're doing awesome. If you haven't followed Gaio, follow him on Twitter, follow him on Facebook. He's absolutely awesome. I look forward to being able to do a stream with him too. And yeah, to all the followers and subscribers out there, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Much love and God bless. Look after yourself. Take care. Ciao.